Today we are going to talk about how to model and solve equations. So now we're going to learn how to model an equation. So we have our non-shaded rectangle, which represents 1x. We have our non-shaded circle that represents 1. We have our shaded rectangle that represents negative 1x, and our shaded circle that represents negative 1. So now we need to model the equation. The first thing we're going to look at is 5x. So we look up back at our key, and we see that 1x is a rectangle that is not shaded. So we need 5 of those rectangles that are not shaded. Next we have minus 3, so that's 3 shaded circles. We have our equal sign. And then we have 17. So that is 17 open circles or non-shaded circles. So here's our 17 non-shaded circles. So this equation reads 5x minus 3 equals 17. So now we need to solve the equation algebraically. So the first step in solving the equation is to draw a line straight down the equal sign. The next step is to undo addition or subtraction. So in our equation, we have a minus, so that's our subtraction, so minus 3. The way we undo it is we do the opposite. So instead of minus 3, we're going to add 3. Now what we do to one side of the equation, we also have to do to the other side. We're going to draw an equal sign across here. So we have 17 plus 3 equals 20. And then we have negative 3 plus 3, which those just cancel out, and those are 0. We're going to bring that 5x straight down. That way our equation is lined up. Now we have 5x equals 20. Now we have to undo multiplication or division. So what 5x really means is 5 times x. Now we don't know what x is, but since we have 5 times x, we have to do the opposite of that, which is divide. So we're going to divide by the number that is with x, which is 5. What we do to one side of the equation, we have to do to the other. So these 5's cancel out, and we're left with x. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So we are left with x equals 4. So here we have another equation that says which number line represents the solution for this equation. So we need to solve the equation algebraically. So I'm going to rewrite it down at the bottom. That way we have room to solve it. 6x plus 10 equals negative 8. So our first step, draw the line down the equal sign. Then we have to undo addition or subtraction. Since we have a plus 10 right here, we're going to do the opposite of plus 10, which is minus 10. What we do to one side, we do to the other. Plus 10 and minus 10 together, they cancel out. Negative 8 and negative 10 together would be negative 18. We're going to bring that 6x directly down. So now we have 6x equals negative 18. So now we need to undo multiplication or division. Since we have 6 times x, we're going to do the opposite, so we're going to divide. So 6 times x, we're going to divide by the number, which was 6. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. The 6's will cancel out. Negative 18 divided by 6 is negative 3. So we get x equals negative 3. So now we have to go up to our number lines and find where the dot is on negative 3, and that is C. So here we have another model, and it wants us to create our equation, and then we need to solve it. So we are given that the entire equation will equal 21. See how 21 covers the entire top part. So we're going to write equals 21 because that is the easiest thing to find. Then we have parts of the equation down here. So since we have an x and an x, that represents 2x. And 2x plus 9.4, add all this together, and it will give us the top part, which is 21. So we have plus 9.4. Now I'm going to rewrite it down at the bottom so we can solve. 2x plus 9.4 equals 21. So the first step, draw the line down the equal sign. We're going to do the opposite of addition or subtraction. So since we have plus 9.4 here, we're going to do minus 9.4 right below it. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. Plus 9.4 and minus 9.4, they cancel out. We're going to bring that 2x straight down. Now, I can't do 21 minus 9.4 in my head, so I'm going to do it off to the side. I need to make sure I line up that decimal. If I do not, my answer will be wrong. 0 minus 4 we can't do, so we have to borrow. That becomes 10. This becomes 0. 10 minus 4 gives us 6. Bring our decimal straight down. 0 minus 9 we cannot do, so we need to borrow. This becomes 10, and the 2 becomes 1. So from there we do 10 minus 9 to get 1. And then 1 minus nothing is 1. So we get 11.6. So we can bring our 11.6 back down to the equation. From here we need to divide still. So we have to divide by 2. What we do to one side we have to do to the other. These 2's cancel out. And then I'm going to do my division over to the left. I do top in and the bottom outside the box. 2 goes into 1 0 times. 2 goes into 11 5 times. That's 10. We subtract them, we get 1. We want to bring our decimal straight up. Bring that 6 down. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So we get 5.8. So our final answer would be x equals 5.8.